Hello my dear students, welcome back to the another virtual class of ISC class 11 political science. So in the previous video I discussed about the divine origin theory and we tried to critically evaluate it also. So today we'll study about the social contract theory of Hobbes. Okay, what was the theory all about? So we'll discuss it one by one. So let's start our today's class. So, social contract theory, contract between the people, how that was possible, how it became possible. So, for that we have to study, we have to understand the view of Hobbes. Okay, who was Hobbes? Hobbes has been one of the most profound political thinkers of the modern period. He was one of the profound political thinkers of modern period. He was an Englishman. Okay, he was a tutor to King Charles II and a firm believer in the concept of absolute sovereignty. So this is a short biography about Hobbes. Okay, he had written a book called Leviathan. Okay, it was published in the year 1651. So according to Hobbes, we'll understand his point of view, what he felt and what prompted him to come up with this social contract theory. First of all, what was the human nature like? Okay, view of Hobbes. Hobbes' view of human nature. What type of nature human beings had during that time? Okay, nature. My nature is different. Your nature is different. Okay, so every human beings are of different nature. So that time, as per Hobbes, what was the human nature like? You can see this mentioned. Man was selfish. Okay, according to Hobbes, man was selfish. Okay, and one more thing, he did not believe that man was a social animal. Like we believe, no, that means man is a social animal, no man can live in isolation. But Hobbes did not believe, he did not believe that man was a social animal. Okay, that means if we go through this view, that means man used to live an individual life. Today, it is not possible. We cannot live in isolation. But earlier, as per Hobbes, man was not a social animal because they used to live an individual life. Okay, so man was selfish. Okay, man was selfish. So what made them selfish? What made them selfish? So it is mentioned over here that two important things. Number one is selfishness. Number two is fear. That means fear and selfishness. These two things. Fear and selfishness made them more and more curious to save their life. It is mentioned that selfishness and fear were the two basic faculties of human nature. First of all, fear made them selfish. What made them selfish? Fear made them selfish. Okay, and selfishness increased their fear. That means fear made them selfish, and selfishness increased their fear. What made them selfish? Fear made them selfish, and selfishness increased their fear. If I don't protect myself, somebody is out to kill me. Okay, so they believe, that means these individuals, they believe that somebody powerful is out to kill him, so he need to kill him to survive. That means survival of fittest was the theory applied over. Okay, survival of fittest. That means they were of the view that, or he was of the view that somebody powerful than him is out to kill him. Okay, so I need to be prepared. Before they kill me, I must kill him. Okay, so that was the survival of fittest theory. This was the nature of human beings. Fear and selfishness, these were the two important faculties of human nature. Okay, they led an individual life. Okay, I am individual, he is individual. That means there was no family life, there was no such life. Okay, he was the judge of his own good or bad. Nobody else was there to judge him that you are good or you are bad. So he was the judge of his own good or bad. Okay, that means he could do anything to keep himself happy. Okay, so such a concept of human nature constitute the basis of Hobbes' social contract theory. Okay, now next one is human nature. Now state of nature. State of nature. Okay, nature of human beings we studied. Okay, we understood. But now, what type of natural state was there? State of nature. So it is mentioned over here that according to Hobbes, Hobbes believed that man used to live in a state of nature. Okay, man used to live in a state of nature that was prehistoric. Prehistoric means before history, the environment, the state of nature was prehistoric. Okay, it was a society. The state of nature was without a society and was without a government. Okay, without a government, it was pre-social and pre-political. Without a society, without a government, pre-social and pre-political state of nature. Okay, so now the question arises over here: what made them? What prompted them to enter into a contract? Fear and selfishness. That means their life became so fearful. That means they were always living in fear that somebody is out to kill me. Survival of fittest was the theory applied over there. Might was right, the theory. So in order to end this theory, in order to end this state of nature, okay, they entered into a contract. Okay, so now in detail, each and every man, they being selfish because of insecurity and fear in their life. Okay, they were always involved in war. Everyone was fighting against each other to survive. Survival of the fittest was the theory, as I told you earlier also. Okay, so he could kill others, just others could kill him. He was ready to kill others because if I don't, then somebody else will kill me. Okay, the state of nature was filled with perpetual war, means survival war, continuous war, fighting among themselves. Okay, insecurity was there, violence was there, anarchy was there, chaos and confusion was there, selfishness was there, fear reigned supreme in the state of nature. Okay, life was solitary, life was nasty. Okay, and life was brutish, life was short. Life was short because anytime you might be killed. You may be killed. That is why, in order to come out of this state of nature, they decided to enter into a contract. And that came to be known as social contract theory according to Hobbes. That means, according to Hobbes theory, people life was selfish. Selfishness increased their fear. Okay, fear made them selfish. They felt that life was short. They must protect themselves. Okay, the individual life was there. No one was living in groups or in families. Okay, life was nasty. Life was brutish. Life was short. Okay, so that type of life people lived. The state of nature was prehistorical. Pre-political, there was no state, no government, no society. So in that state of nature, this type of people lived, and when they were fed up with this life, they wanted to end this living. They wanted to end this type of system. That is why the result of this confusion, chaos was that they gave, or there was a birth of a contract between the people and a sovereign ruler. I surrendered my contract to one person who on behalf of all of us will rule over us and look after our problems. Okay, the result of this contract was the birth of sovereign with all the powers to govern all persons of the state. Powers to govern all persons of the state. That means we have decided to surrender our power to somebody. That means one person who on behalf of us, who on behalf of everyone will rule over us. Okay, so This transformed the state of nature into a proper state. Okay, proper state. Okay, and the person to whom they had surrendered their power became an absolute ruler. Okay, so this is all about Hobbes. This contract theory was according to Hobbes. Okay, just remember selfishness, fear. Okay, now when we discuss about other theories, now the next theory we are going to start is Locke's theory of social contract. Now according to his viewpoint we'll understand. Now the next is Locke, social contract theory given by Locke. So earlier one was by Hobbes. Okay, so here again we have to study about human nature and state of nature. So you can see over here, peace, order, harmony. That means what type of nature of human beings were there? As per Locke, they loved peace, they lived in peace, they loved harmony, they loved order and all. Okay, that means they had a family life, they lived in a society. Okay, life was very smooth, there was nothing called fear. Okay, so selfishness, you know, is a part of individual, so it will always remain with us. So here people lived in families, they lived in a society. Okay, they were social animal. So you was also a rational human being. So the nature was very, very simple. They loved peace, there was order in the society, there was a harmonious relation among the people living in a society. Okay, so if everything was good, then why there was a requirement of a social contract? So next one is state of nature. So according to Locke, it was not a pre-social state, it was a social state. That means society was there, families were there. Okay, like earlier as per Hobbes, it was pre-social, but here it was not at all a pre-social stage. Okay, next one, though it was a pre-political, there was no state, there was no government, there was no any government to look after the problems of the people. Then the question arises over here, when everything was so smooth and simple, there was no fear. Okay, people lived in families and societies, and what made them to enter into a contract? As per Locke. Okay, so number one is there, need for civil society. So definitely whenever people increases, families increases, then civil problems also increases. Okay, so first one was that people now started thinking that we need to protect our rights. Okay, this is my property, I have to protect my property from other persons and all. Okay, my natural rights are there, I need to protect my natural rights effectively. Okay, so they also felt that they need to make laws for the future, because I am not individual, we are living in a group, we are living in society. So all these factors made them feel that they need to enter into a civil, so they need a civil society, because when you live in a society, lot of problems will be sorted out very easily. Okay, so need for the enforcement of laws. Laws must be there to enforce over the people to live in a very peaceful way. Okay, whenever we live together, disputes may arise, then who is going to settle the disputes? And also for all this, they needed a civil society. So all these factors prompted them to enter into a contract. So here, according to Locke, there are two contracts. How many contracts? Two. First one was a contract among the people to form a civil society. Contract among the people to form a civil. A is there. Suppose I am there. B is there. C is there. I'll come into a contract among all these people. We must all agree to enter into the contract. That was known as civil contract. Okay. We are ready. Unanimously, we have decided to form a civil society. Okay. First contract. And this civil society, they entered into a contract with a person who on behalf of everyone will rule over them as a sovereign head. Okay, civil society is not a government. Civil society is formed among the people. and they now will enter into a contract with a person or a group to whom they will surrender their powers, and they on behalf of us as a sovereign head will rule over us for the betterment of the society. Okay, and they collectively will form the government. So this is how two contract, one among the people and other contract was made with the government. Okay, so this was according to law. This was according to law. Okay, so in the theories of Hobbes and Locke, two things are important: human nature, state of nature. So you can see here there is a variations. That means differences are there. When you study about Hobbes, you find the state human nature different. When you study about Locke, the human nature according to Locke is different. Okay, so this is all about Locke. Okay, now the next theory we'll discuss about is again of social contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So now Rousseau, social contract theory of Rousseau. What does it talk about? Okay, so once again, state of nature and human nature we are going to discuss. So earlier we discussed about Hobbes' human views on human nature, Locke's views on human nature. So Rousseau's views on human nature, what type of nature human beings had at that time? So carefree and innocent. That means people at that time, as per Rousseau, they were innocent, they were carefree. Okay, they did not bother about mine and thine. Okay, they led a very, very, very innocent life. That means they did not have sense about this is mine, this is yours. Okay, that means he was unmindful. They lived a full lavish life. Okay, that means there was no limitation on their liberty. They led a very, very rather we can say the ideal life. Okay, selfishness though is a part of human beings, though they were selfish. Okay, but later on, selfishness assumed a greater shape when they started having their own property, and that also to protect their property, they became selfish. Okay, and due to that, people started got themselves engaged into a property war. That means property war means to protect their property or to snatch away the property of the others. Okay, but earlier they were very, very carefree, they were very, very innocent, but slowly and gradually, okay, the nature of human beings completely changed with the birth of property. Okay, man becomes perverted, that means completely changed. Okay, that was the nature of a human being as per Rousseau. Okay, now what was the state of nature like? Was there any state? Was there any government? So definitely there was no such thing. People lived as individuals. Okay, as per Rousseau, state of nature as Rousseau was completely different. No pre-social, no pre-political. They lived as individuals. Okay, that means it is mentioned like Hobbes and Locke. Rousseau also believed that originally man used to live in a state of nature, but later on it was very, very clear according to Rousseau that people were like quarrelsome. Okay, they never wanted to live in a different way, selfish way, but still certain changes took place as per Rousseau. Okay, that is why need to end this individual life was felt by the people of that state. That is why it is mentioned, no man is born free, but everywhere he is insane. This was a line quoted by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Okay, so that made them enter into a contract that came to be known as social contract theory. But here social contract theory, one more thing is there that is completely different from other theories, that is general will. Theory of general will. That means general will means will of the people. That means people decided, all the people. That means it is not the individual. That means each and every people decided to enter into a contract, and that was very, very important because general will was required. So general will. Okay, general will. That means collective real will. Collective real will. Okay, so in obeying the general will, one obeyed his own real will, which was a part of general will. That means I will obey my own will, and that will altogether will become the general will of the people. Okay, so this is the theory propounded by Rousseau as per that means a general will. Okay, so three things you must understand whenever you study about the original state. What was the human nature like? What was the state of nature like? What made them to enter into a contract? What made those people, whether living in an individual state or a family state, what made them to enter into a contract? That must be studied. So 3 points: state, human nature, state of nature, and what made them to enter into a contract. So that definitely will make you clear about the theories. So all the theories, Hobbes theory, Locke's theory, Rousseau's theory, what is difference? Slight differences are there. Somewhere natural differences are there, somewhere state of nature difference is there, and one thing is completely different over here. Here Rousseau is talking about general will. General means will of all the people, prompted them to enter into a contract. Okay, so according to Rousseau, social contract gave birth to general will. That means popular sovereign representing the real will of all the people as one. That means general will, if everybody agrees together, that will bring a positive changes in the society. Okay, so this is all about from this today's class. So we'll meet again in next class. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.